Did you see that? Was a different key. We're working an E today. Because it's extra awesome. Now, my last lesson was the importance of noodling, which we're going to continue. Today's noodling session is getting through the positions. We're going to go through position 3, 4, 5, and back to 1 in one riff, and we're going to work on muting and dynamics and hybrid picking. So this noodle session is all about exploring those topics. Super fun. Now, could this be some Jungian, psychological wish on my own part to just, aimlessly play and have fun and just wank and just have an excuse to do it? It could be, I don't know, but I'm hoping that you'll see where I'm going with this and recognize the importance of noodling to a certain extent. All right, let's zoom in for a closer look. Okay, so noodling 2. This time I'm going to stick to E minor, let's say. We're going to use the hybrid picking, and we're going to go through E minor pentatonic positions 3, 4, 5, and 1. Okay, and we're going to stick pretty much to the scale, but I'm going to throw the blues note in there as well. So if you don't know what that one, you think of E minor. Okay, so it'd be the 15th fret in position 1 of the G string. Now, and it's all over the place, right? But I'm just going to use it in that one spot. Now, hybrid picking is super cool for stuff like this. Because then you don't have to do a bunch of this. Now, you could be good at this. So if you are good at this, by all means, do this. But I'm not as good at this as this. So I'll take a pattern like that. Let's say it's 7, 5, 7, A string, right? So we got it. Or let's do that. So the first part, okay, the next part, so that's pull off from 7 to 5 on the A, 7 on the E, 7 on the A, back to 7E, and then I would do the same thing on the next 2 sets of string. Okay. Now, the next one I'm going to slide up into position 4. So I went from 7 to 9. And then I hammer on and pull off 7 to 9 on the G. So it's slide. So we slide up. Then I go 7, 9, pull off to 7, and then I go 9, D, G, D, 7. Okay, so we got. I'm going to do the same thing in position 4. So now I'm going to slide from 9 to 12. Okay, so. And I'm basically picking the notes on the D string, plucking the notes on the G. Then I'm going to slide up from 12 to 14, getting me into position 1. And that's where I'm going to throw in the blues note. So I'm going to go. And then. Okay, so same kind of pattern. And then bend up on the 15th fret B. Now, obviously, you can work on accuracy, making sure you're really staying on each of those notes, even though they're going by fast, as long as you can. That's one thing I've learned hanging out with my buddy Tim Pearson. He's so freaking good at guitar, but that's one thing he always tells me all the time. He's like, stay on the note as long as you can. Like, and when you're switching between strings, just let it go at the very last second. Right? Keep your fingers on the fretboard as long as you can. So when you're sliding all this stuff, it sounds fluid. Now you could use muting for a more percussive, which I'm doing. But you're still using the same thing. You're still keeping your fingers on the fretboard. And try, and it's one thing I've been working on, to keep your fingers as low as possible. Don't take them up. I do it all the time. So it's just like this constant work in progress of, minimizing the movement of my fingers. But it's things like that, to work on as well. Keep it slow in the beginning, and then as you build up your speed, make sure that you're not choking off the notes in an effort to gain speed. Okay, so I'm guilty of this as well. I practice this all the time now, trying to keep my fingers down on those freaking strings as long as I can, because when you're able to do that and slide effortlessly through positions and stuff like that, the fluidity really starts to really be noticeable. And it's like, because I'll watch Tim play, for instance, and the riffs he's doing, for the most part, really aren't that hard mechanically. Like watching the notes that he plays and stuff like that. But the speed and the fluidity of which he does it is incredibly difficult. So, or any players, watching like Nuno Bettencourt, Van Halen, Stevie Ray Vaughan, any of these great players, they really hang on the notes as long as possible, and they really mean it when they hit them. And then they'll use things like dynamics. So not all the notes are the same volume. You want that push and pull feeling. So all these things, work on it while you're noodling. So when you do your flashy riffs, flash can encompass lots of things. It can be fluid, it can be really dynamic, and it can be melodic. And you can get from one side of the fretboard to the other quickly, so you can end on that high note if you want. So those are all things to think about when noodling. Always comment below. Let me know what's going on in your world, in your head, what you're wanting to see. That would be awesome. Thank you for the support. Tell your friends you're amazing.